A second's apprehension as I slotted the huge key into the lock and pushed open the door onto the darkness inside. The house smelt, as usual, of mildew, and my feet slipped on the sand that always coated the floors with a fine, gritty layer. It got in somehow, even when the house was locked, through minute cracks or under the door. I flicked on the lights. I went through to the kitchen, dumped my bags, Pepper at my heels. I turned on the immersion heater, switched on the fridge. I would warm up the place, turn it back into a home. Upstairs, the mattresses were cold under my palm. I ran back down and filled the kettle. The hot water bottles gave off a familiar old smell of warm rubber, winter nights, childhood. I tucked one under a scratchy blanket on each mattress. I'd asked my friends to bring their own bed linen. May's was a bit random, a few thin duvet covers, some crumpled sheets. I put on May's old Roberts radio for company, and Dancing in the Moonlight tinkled in the background. Pepper followed me, as if he couldn't bear to be a foot from me, and I chatted to him, glad of his company. We'll light the fire, put out flowers, candles, chill the fizz. The place is going to be warm and beautiful by the time they arrive. I could do this on my own, play the hostess, run a house. I filled one of May's old pans with water, ready for the pasta. Chiara, my flatmate in London and best friend, had said she'd bring a pudding. I'd asked Louise, who we'd flat-shared with at art college, to make a salad. I'd brought the pasta, 2 sauces, and a block of fresh, crumbly parmesan, bread and parma ham, melon, and artichoke hearts. We were going to eat, those of us who ate at all, Chiara barely did, at May's beautiful circular kitchen table. A proper dinner table. You couldn't play the hostess in our cramped London flat. It was a novelty to do it here. I grated the parmesan, unwrapped the antipasti, and put them on plates. I went up to the room I was going to sleep in, May's old bedroom at the front, and unfolded the dress I'd bought for the private view party. I'd fallen in love with it, in a vintage store in Bethnal Green. It had a silk underdress, and the rest was green lace. And when I put it on, I felt ridiculously pleased with myself, as if I was stepping into a new skin. I hadn't worn feminine clothes with Finn. He preferred me in my painting overalls. This room wasn't musty like the others. It still smelt how it smelt when May was here, of clean air, windswept washing, and wide horizons. Yes, I thought, the sense of possibility, of being different. The others should be here soon. It was almost 10. Chiara, I knew, had had a meeting after work, and Louise was picking up her new boyfriend from the airport, so I didn't expect them much earlier. The voice of the newsreader on the radio chattered in the background as I busied myself, placing the dress on a hanger so I could gaze at it from the bed, and organising my underwear into May's empty drawers, arranging my spare jeans and jumpers in colours on a chair. I was filling the spaces May's death had left, rekindling the life in the house. I refused to feel sad any more. She wouldn't have wanted that. As I moved from the front bedroom, which overlooked the dark dunes, to the back one, overlooking the road and the marshes, the thoughts were emerging slowly like an old film developing in my unconscious. I felt slightly lightheaded. I put it down to impatience for my friends to roll up. My palms were damp. I assumed it was due to excitement about seeing Louise after all this time, sharing our news, talking about our art, wondering whether she'd changed. My heart raced as I heard the crunch of tire on shingle, and a beam of light swung across the room, through the window. Someone was arriving. Pepper bounded down the stairs, yapping. Chiara and her boyfriend Liam came in, dumping their bags, kissing me on the cheek, carrying bottles into the kitchen. Sorry you've been so long. There was a diversion on the road back there. This is amazing, Ellie. You didn't say it was actually on the beach? Wow, what a perfect spot. I know. I was brimming with pride as I hugged them. I'll show you around.